Well, hello everybody. First and foremost, I want to apologize that this video has taken a year to come up with a follow-up from my first video. So I do want to apologize for that, but when I explain to you why, I think you're going to understand. So first, I want to just explain that this COVID-19 pandemic has really affected everybody, be it health-wise, economic-wise. It's just thrown this whole country, the whole world into a tizzy, and it kind of did for our family as well. Thankfully, nobody in our family has contracted the virus, although my husband does work in healthcare, and that was a really big concern with him working on COVID patients. So that was a big deal for us to get through, and it pretty much encompassed everything we did was to make sure that everything was disinfected and sanitized when he came into the house. Secondly, back in January, we had taken a family vacation to Walt Disney World, and 3 days prior to leaving, I decided to have my 2-year routine MRI on my liver for a hemangioma that we're just keeping an eye on. And the day that we got into Walt Disney World, we had a 6 a.m. flight. I'm sleeping, and my doctor calls me and tells me that the liver looks great. Everything's good with the liver, but they found something on my pancreas. So the doctor hung up saying, "Now, I don't want you to worry about this, and I don't want you to think about it again for 3 months when we do a follow-up." Well, I'm sure I'm not the only one that thought that was ridiculous, and I'm sure that you guys would all understand that that's almost an impossible thing to do. So after after another MRI, after a pancreatic biopsy, it came back that I had a malignant neuroendocrine tumor on my pancreas, which had to be removed. So from January all the way till October 5th, we dealt with biopsies and 5 vaccinations that I had to have preoperatively. I had to use supplements to boost my hemoglobin as well as iron infusions. So it was a pretty difficult time for me. On October 5th, I went into Robert Wood Johnson in New Brunswick, New Jersey with a phenomenal team and had a portion of my pancreas removed and my spleen. So today is actually November 6th. So it is a month post-operative. I did have to have a couple more vaccines post-operative just to protect me because I don't have a spleen anymore. I was on Lovenox, which is a heparin shot, for the past 28 days. And the final result from the surgery was because it was on my pancreas, it threw my glucose levels into a tizzy. I was reading about 330 in the hospital, fasting for 5 days. So it was crazy, and we have been trying to get my sugar stabilized to some point. So I am now on insulin shots, which came to me as a huge surprise. Didn't think that anything like that was going to happen. So I'm on 22 units of insulin twice a day. So now I am classified as an insulin dependent diabetic, which I had no idea that this was going to happen. And it's a little disheartening. It's a little upsetting that, I dealt with all this for the surgery. The surgery was so much more than I anticipated. I was in surgery for about 6 hours, came home with a drain, which I didn't know I needed. And it was just, I'm thankful that my doctor didn't tell me everything because it would have scared me half to death going into surgery. But there was just so much, waking up with an NG tube up your nose, not knowing that I was going to have that. It was just crazy. So I am feeling so much better. I'm up and moving. I'm probably doing a little bit more than I should. I'm not driving yet. I'm not comfortable with that yet, but we're getting there, and I just have to be patient with my body and let myself heal, which is also a very difficult thing. But so that's why this update has not come out yet. So I do apologize, but let's get into the update. So if anybody hasn't seen my last video, please go back and watch that, because that explains to you my DNA journey, what happened when I went and did the 23andMe. And mind you, I did all of that for health reasons only, to make sure that I wasn't going to be passing anything to my children from my DNA, because my mother did have breast cancer twice. So that was my whole reasoning. And if you watch that video, you'll realize what happened. So I left you guys off on my last video that I had written my sister a letter and hadn't heard back from her, and felt that there was a reason why. Well, let me tell you that she did get in contact with me. My brain goes crazy sometimes, and the reasons that I was thinking up in my head had absolutely nothing to do with the reason why she hasn't been contacting me. One thing that you have to realize is when you do these DNA tests, and if you find out that your biological parents who raised you weren't, if you find out that your biological parents weren't the people who raised you, or you have siblings that you never knew about, everybody handles it differently. They are handling it. They needed time to let this sink in and digest. And that, you know, of course, with your own family problems or personal problems, things just may not go the way that you want them. And that's what was happening during this time frame. It was just a time for them all to soak it in. My brother, who's 2 months younger than me, he was living overseas. He had lost his job here in America. So he had gone from New Jersey to Miami, and then over to somewhere overseas. It'll come to me. And my other brother owns an ambulance company, and my sister is taking care of my biological father and his wife, who are now going to be 93 years old. So it was just a matter of time. They just needed to soak things in, and happy to say that now my sister and I talk probably once a month. We have very deep, great conversations. My brother, who is 2 months younger than me, I haven't been able to see him. He is back in the States right now, but me being post-operative and this big COVID thing, and him being traveling and going to some rallies, I don't think it's a good idea for me to go see him. I have to be really, really careful without a spleen. My older brother, actually, I am happy to say that we met up with him and my biological father in Upper New Jersey with my daughter and my son. So it was the 5 of us, and we got to sit down and have a great lunch together. We got to talk, and it was a really strange situation because we did not bring up the circumstance. We didn't bring it up. And the thing is, my biological father is a man who I've adored my whole life, who I considered or called my uncle. So just seeing them was just like seeing an old family friend, and it wasn't anything uncomfortable. He did say, you know, a couple of things that we did find a little comical, you know, trying to give my children some life lessons by saying to them, don't ever hurt anybody, when you know, this is something that happened in his past, and it is very difficult for people. So it was, you know, he's an old man and he has problems with short-term memory. So, you know, we just took it and shrugged it off, and, you know, we didn't want to make him feel bad or anything, but it was great that I got to spend some time with him and my older brother. So everything is going well. One thing that I will tell you that has not changed since my first video was that nobody has told their children yet about me. And I do understand it. My sister, she has 4 children. They have children. So I have a lot of nieces and nephews and great nieces and great nephews out there, but she is extremely close with her mom, and her mom cherishes the ground that my biological father walks on, and she will not accept the fact that he cheated on her. So again, I think it's a protection mechanism, and my biological father, to say this politely, has a very skewed view of women. He looks at women as objects, sexual objects. He does not think they have the value that a man has, and that has caused some problems in her family. And the last thing that she wants to do is to make matters worse, because my biological father's wife is a sweet, dear lady, and they don't want any conflict. They don't want to hurt her. So my sister has told me that she's going to wait until our father passes. Until her mother passes, to actually tell her children about me, just so they don't cause her any more pain. And I completely understand that. I have been leaving things up to them when it comes to telling my biological father, telling his wife, telling their children. That is everybody's own personal choice that they have to make. And I would never want to put my views onto them or demand anything from them. We're all dealing with this. We're all hurting. We're all shocked. So it is something that everybody has to deal with on their own. And that's one thing. When you do go into 23andMe, you have to realize that if you do get some type of news that is shocking, that you didn't expect, you have to realize that you may have views on how to handle it, but your family members may have different views. So it is something that you're going to have to be okay with, because you can't demand it. You can't make somebody do something that they're not comfortable with. So I am fine with that. I have also come to the conclusion that the relationship between myself and my biological father is going to stay how it is. My sister asked me if I wanted to, if my biological sister asked me if I wanted her to tell our father about my surgery. And I told her no. I know he's my father, but I am looking at him as our family friend, my uncle. That's how I'm going to carry on this relationship until he's no longer with us, because I don't want, or I don't need that fatherly relationship. He's in his 90s. I'm in my early 50s. I've gone 25 years without a father figure in my life, and it's okay. It's okay for him to be a family friend, but to know in my heart that he's actually my biological father. So I've done a lot of growing in the last year, and I've done a lot of thinking about how I want to proceed with this, and that's it. It's the same as the day that I found out. I do hope that my relationship with my siblings can grow, especially my sister. I would never wish anything bad on anybody, but am looking forward to the day that her and I can actually see each other and be with each other. And that's not going to happen until her mom passes. So I do look forward to getting to know her better now through texts and telephone calls. And like I've said in the past, they are great people. My siblings are wonderful people. And my sister never hangs up the phone without saying that she loves me. And it just makes, it helps me to see that we are going to have a great relationship someday when we can actually be together and expand the relationship that we have now. So, that is my update. That's my update of 23andMe. And before I close this video, I just want anybody who is considering doing the 23andMe or the Ancestry, that this is a possibility. You may open those test results and see that you have siblings, or the parents that raised you were not your biological parents. So I just want to tell everybody to be prepared. Be prepared that this may happen. This was never, ever something that I thought could happen to me. Never even came into my mind. So it can happen to you. So be prepared. think about it before you spit in that little vial and send it off in the mail, because it can give you life-altering, life-changing results. So that is my story on 23andMe. As of today is November 6th, 2020. I am going to continue this channel with different content, possibly still discussing the 23andMe and the DNA result controversy that a lot of people fall into and having to deal with it on their own. I am so thankful for the comments that you left after my first video. They were really sweet, and I'm thankful for them. Please leave any comments that you may have below. I will try my best to answer them as soon as possible. Or let us know. Let me know about your story. Is it similar to mine? You know, let's bounce things off each other. We're a community, and we're here to lift each other up. So I hope all of you stay healthy, wear your mask, social distance, wash your hands. It is a health concern and nothing else. So you want to keep yourself healthy, stay happy, stay safe, and thank you so much for listening to my story. Have a great day.